suspended, Gabriel injured, Mustafi not recovered from concussion. But Alex Oxlade-Chamberlain is okay, and he looks like he'll be the left wing-back today. And it's Danny Welbeck up front.
Well, Arsenal stick with the back three that served them so well in recent weeks, but it does mean that Oxlade-Chamberlain will play as a left wing-back. He was Arsenal's best player against Manchester City in the semi-final, but with Welbeck up front, it suggests to me that Arsenal will try and play on the counter-attack.
Well, who to leave out rather than who to put in? Midfield spot alongside N'Golo Kanté goes to Nemanja Matic rather than the former Arsenal captain Cesc Fabregas, and one of the three attacking roles is awarded to Pedro, who keeps out Willian, who scored twice here in the semi-final.
Well, key to Chelsea's attacking threat are the positions that Pedro and Hazard take up. By drifting infield between Arsenal's back three and their midfield players, they will ask questions of Arsenal's defensive organisation, their communication and their decision-making.
Certainly, with a counter-attack philosophy, Danny Welbeck is a sensible choice. Still trying to get absolutely bang-on form after so many injury problems. Eden Hazard has had another outstanding season. So Chelsea have the continuity, they have the confidence born of winning a trophy. Arsene Wenger's memories of that more distant, particularly in the league, but they did win 2 of the last 3 FA Cups. And to make it 3 and 4 would be quite an achievement. There is a heightened security presence today. And after Monday night's bombing in Manchester, black armbands on display. And a period of respectful remembrance now, including the laying of wreaths.
Wembley, today we pay tribute to the 22 men, women and children who died in the terrible events at Manchester Arena earlier this week. Our thoughts are with them, the many injured in the tragedy, and all of their families and friends. Football stands together. As a mark of respect and remembrance, wreaths will now be laid by the FA President, His Royal Highness the Duke of Cambridge, the FA Chairman, Greg Clark, the Secretary of State for Culture, Media and Sport, the Right Honourable Karen Bradley, and Mayor of Greater Manchester, the Right Honourable Andy Burnham. Starting and ending on the referee's whistle, please now join us in a period of silence as we remember those who lost their lives.
London and football in total unity. Our thoughts with those who have suffered in Manchester. Of course, such a proud footballing city. So we're ready to go at Wembley. Chelsea to kick off. Record-breaking champions by virtue of 30 wins from their 38 Premier League games, 93 points. Arsenal finished 18 adrift, back in 5th place. Anthony Taylor has the honour of taking charge of an FA Cup final. And Chelsea do pride themselves on a fast start. Pedro's often very much Chelsea ambition to get onto the front foot straight away. All the way by Oxlade-Chamberlain. Stewart to expect Arsenal rather to dig in as they did at the start against Manchester City in the semi-final.
I think that's exactly how they're going to try and play. They're quite deep. They'll rely on Welbeck to hit balls in behind. When they played in that semi-final, they tried to play up to Giroud. It didn't really work for them. Welbeck gives them a different option, as he's doing here.
Cross comes Cahill. It's a record 20th final for Arsenal. It will also be a record 13th win if they're successful today, overtaking last season's winners, Manchester United. All his considerable experience will be needed by Mertesacker. Monreal. And now Granit Xhaka. Both sides won their home games. Chelsea beat Arsenal 3-1 at Stamford Bridge in February. By then they were already bedded into a system that had its origins in a 3-0 defeat in September at Arsenal's Emirates Stadium. Arsenal raced into a 3-0 lead. Conte went to 3 at the back to limit the damage and ended up starting the next game with it away to Hull, the first of 13 consecutive Premier League wins, which propelled them up the table and eventually to the title. So in a way they have to be grateful to Arsenal in a strange way.
It's a system he always wanted to play, and I think that just made his mind up. He didn't have the players to play with it to start with, but he made players out of Azpilicueta as the right-sided centre-back. He made a right wing-back out of Victor Moses. He made a left-sided centre-half out of Cahill.
Arsenal switch to a similar system happened much more recently up at Middlesbrough after a bad defeat at Crystal Palace. They played 9 games prior to this in a row with 3 at the back, at least most of the matches. Last week Koscielny got sent off and that necessitated a change when they're down to 10 men. But of those 9 games, they've won 8. So it's worked for Arsene Wenger, and even though he's had difficulties finding defenders fit and available to play in the middle of that defence, he's gone with it again.
Good bit of possession play by Arsenal. Sanchez wandering across the field, finding space in behind Chelsea's midfield. Good start by the Gunners.
Mertesacker comes upfield. He scored in an FA Cup final, he scored in an FA Cup semi-final, and he scored the winning goal for Germany, all in this stadium. And comes the giant Courtois. And, Chelsea a little over-anxious, in fact cost the confusing Conte. And a chance of a quick break was really stopped by their own shortcomings. And here's Ramsey, who's actually done very well since the change of system and back to his best. And Sanchez. Chelsea complain. Flag is up. No goal. Gary Bezic is the man who makes the decision, but Sanchez came from deep. Stuart Robson.
It may still be a goal here. The assistant referee gave offside for the player that was standing in front of Sanchez. Sanchez, they're trying to claim it was handball to start with Chelsea. It hit Sanchez, went in behind Chelsea. Sanchez chased after it, but there was an Arsenal player in there that was in an offside position, but he didn't touch the ball, or he didn't go for the ball either.
That's a big call from the 2 officials who are discussing the matter here, and it is, Stuart, you've got it absolutely right. The goal given And Sanchez is the man again. And it's just the start that Arsenal wanted. But from Chelsea's point of view, contentious. They're still following the referee, some of the players. Even Arsene Wenger looks confused.
Well, he does look confused, but here it is again. Chelsea should have counter-attacked. They made a real mess of it, as you quite rightly said. Sanchez tries to play the ball forward. Luiz heads it down. Conte's slow to deal with it. And there you can see Ramsey was in an offside position, but he didn't eventually touch the ball. Did he interfere with play? I think he has to be interfering in play because he starts to go towards the ball. Chelsea stopped with it, which they shouldn't have done. But what a start for Arsenal. Does it hit him on the hand? His arms are up. That's what Azpilicueta was asking. But it's a good finish in the end from Sanchez with the outside of his right boot.
Well, it's up on the scoreboard, Arsene. You're leading. And it's Alexis Sanchez, whose future is as shrouded in mystery as the manager himself. So the favourites are behind. It's the FA Cup. Again, Anthony Taylor concerned about Costa's combustible nature, but he might react there to Rob Holding. Chelsea have got the free kick.
A bit of shirt tugging. Also Costa, not the innocent party either in all that. Then has a little kick out at Holding. He still has that fiery temper. I think both players are going to get away with it here. It's a foul by Holding, but Costa's reaction isn't a good one.
Chance to hit back straight away. Ball just a bit too high for Diego Costa. He's got a bit of previous against Arsenal.
He'd just been standing in an offside position as well when that ball was first played in. Wasn't given by the assistant referee.
But a goal tinged twice with controversy. Handball, offside, both calls went Arsenal's way. Arsenal 1, Chelsea 0. The 2017 FA Cup final has got off to a headline start.
It was also sloppy play all round from Chelsea. First of all, Victor Moses didn't defend the ball well down this right-hand side. They had a chance to counter-attack and two players got in each other's way. Then when Luiz heads it down into a dangerous area, Conte wasn't first to it. Complacency certainly looks like that in the first 7 or 8 minutes.
On from David Luiz. There'll be a lot of talk about Petr Cech not starting this game, mostly I think because it's against Chelsea. Ospina's a very capable goalkeeper. Of course, Cech doubly disappointed, having won the cup 4 times with Chelsea. He might win it, but as a non-playing substitute with Arsenal against Chelsea, there's a long way to go. Ramsey. Back comes Pedro, who scored in a Champions League final in this stadium, no less.
The referee's absolutely right here. It's not Monreal that's going to get the yellow card, it's Ramsey. Shirt tugging, certainly not Monreal. He was the last challenge, but he's not the player being booked. Ramsey was booked for shirt tugging on Pedro as he was trying to run away.
Azpilicueta. It's not a situation that Chelsea have found themselves in too often this season. 1-0 down. Ramsey, as Stuart rightly said, that's the club. Another slip which would have had disastrous consequences by Courtois. Versatility of Oxlade-Chamberlain put to the test again. Bellerin is the right wing back. It's the position that Oxlade-Chamberlain was looking good in earlier in this switch to the back three when he was injured. Kieran Gibbs is not on the bench today. He was down to be a substitute. He had recovered his fitness, which made him a doubt, and then he was taken ill this morning. And Lucas Perez is the player who's got himself a FA Cup medal of some shape. To see winner or loser.
When Arsenal got the ball, it's interesting to see Ozil is coming that little bit deeper to make 3v2 in that centre area. That's why Arsenal have had so much possession.
One extraordinary fact about this Arsenal defence, Stuart, is that Mertesacker has never played in a back three.
He was probably one of the first centre-halves to play in a back four for Germany.
Chelsea ownership, it's been a pretty straight Roman road to success, hasn't it? Since they took on the purse strings 14 years ago now, 14 trophies, all the signs and Arsenal injury problems. This is going to be number 15. That might turn out to be that way, but Arsenal have started, you might say fortunately, but fierily as well. Sanchez. Oxlade-Chamberlain, Welbeck waiting in the middle. He does like to run with the ball. Oxlade-Chamberlain's a bit lucky. He's still running with the ball. Never quite pick off a sensible pass. Alonso. Again, a little bit of nerviness from Chelsea. There'll be no manager any better than Antonio Conte in getting his players back with their mind on the job, he would think. And I'm sure that they've prepared properly for the Italian, but you know, when you've won a trophy, celebrated, had a bit of time off, and been told by all and sundry that you've only got to turn up to win the final.
They've seen Arsenal's injuries as well. They'd have thought that this was, as I thought, Arsenal were going to drop off and allow Chelsea to play. That's not the case here. Arsenal are in the ascendancy, not just in the scoreline, but the way they're playing.
Pedro. So getting there first again. And again to Sanchez. Handed off by Ozil. Herring coming from right wing back, but leaving a bit of a hole there for nobody wide right for Sanchez to slip it to. Not at the moment when he wanted to release the ball. Now chugged back into position.
Xhaka is playing very much as the holding midfield player, but it's given licence for Ramsey just to make further forward runs. Ozil's coming deeper, so it's almost making a three-man midfield, as he's doing now, Ozil, to pick up the ball in space.
Ramsey let it run. Ramsey's probably playing his best football of the season. In this last month or so, he finally got himself a Premier League goal. First of the campaign, with virtually the last kick of the league season, and the win over Everton last Sunday.
Eden Hazard has touched the ball yet. We're 12 minutes, 13 minutes into the game.
What a press by Azpilicueta. Must be reliable for them every minute of every Premier League game he played. Takes a bit of doing. The winning runner is Welbeck. He's held it up expertly. Sanchez scored from this sort of range in a past cup final. Win over Aston Villa.
Good bit of play by Welbeck, making that run down the side of David Luiz, setting up the play for Alexis Sanchez. Just doesn't come down in time for him, but at the moment Arsenal are dominating the game tactically. Arsene Wenger's outdoing Antonio Conte with the way he's set up in that midfield area.
Morale's header. Here's Moses. Conte. Here is Hazard bursting on the scene. Comes out to Costa. Heroic block. Suddenly, Chelsea looked one strike of the ball away from an equaliser.
A couple of strikes, wasn't it? Looked as though Eden Hazard was going to get a chance, had the ball taken off him by Mertesacker, and then a combination, I think, of Holding. Xhaka got out and got the block in.
Luis heads forward. Arsenal on the move again with Sanchez. It's off the line by Cahill. Well, what a chance. With Ozil played in. It's a three-pronged attack, and Mesut Ozil seemed to have got the better of Courtois. Here come Arsenal again. They feel they've got Chelsea on the ropes. Bellerin. It will roll for a corner. Ozil still contemplating what might have been. He didn't chase after that, settled for the corner.
Great run from Welbeck that just opened up the space for Mesut Ozil, who kicks it into the ground. That's why it goes over Courtois. He's in the right place just before Welbeck gets there.
So close to being 2-0. Xhaka to deflect Ozil's way. This waited a bit too long, and N'Golo Kanté doesn't give you much time to have an extra thought or two, extra touch or two. But Gary Cahill really sparing Chelsea's blushes here. It could so easily been 2-0 just past the 15-minute mark.
I did him an injustice, Mesut Ozil. I think he actually got himself underneath the ball and clipped it over Courtois. But Arsenal winning every 50-50 challenge, every loose ball. They're making the pitch look much bigger than Chelsea are at the moment.
Chelsea trying to get into their stride, which usually involves Victor Moses coming forward down the right-hand side. Pedro. Another sterling piece of defending by Arsenal from Monreal. And Chelsea waste the throw. Sanchez. Aiming for Ozil. Alonso couldn't quite intervene. Bearing forward. Xhaka.
Victor Moses has had an absolute shocker in this first period of the game. His throw in there just goes straight back to an Arsenal player. Just when they're building up a bit of momentum, he'd be absolutely furious with what he's seen. Matic has lost every 50-50 ball. On a couple of occasions, he hasn't even made the challenge.
Chamberlain, the room that Arsenal are finding here on a regular basis. Xhaka to Ozil, almost through to Welbeck. Alonso sliding in with Chelsea a little bit of breathing space, but it's another Arsenal corner.
Well, look at the space that they can pick up in these sort of areas. It's a lovely little ball. Alonso defends it well enough in the end.
Ozil. Well, it looked as though it was going to go in from Welbeck, and then the follow-up with Ramsey involved, and Chelsea escaped again by a hair's breadth.
Could he have thrown himself at it? And Ramsey quite sure here. Welbeck just gets away from Alonso.
Chelsea looking like cardboard cutouts of the players we know they are.
One or two of the players look as though they've got lead weights in their boots at the moment. Here's the chance again. Alonso can't get a jump in. Comes off the post. Could he have gone with his head a bit earlier? And Ramsey.
Just seemed to want to make extra sure by chesting it over the line, but spun off his chest and the outside of the frame of the goal again. There's no exaggeration to say, inside the first 20 minutes, Arsenal could be 3 in front. David Luiz. Diego Costa. Worst Wembley ball you'll ever see, because Alex Oxlade-Chamberlain has got Arsenal up the pitch again. Another player prepared to run in behind Alexis Sanchez.
Well, the way they're using Oxlade-Chamberlain as the left wing back, it does mean that Alexis Sanchez can stay high and wide on this left-hand side. He can come infield as well and go and join. He hasn't got too many defensive responsibilities. Ozil's then tucking in from the other side to make that extra man in midfield. It's all working Arsenal's way at the moment, tactically.
It's quite worked out from Chelsea's point of view. Who's picking up Ramsey?
At some point it's got to be passed on to one of the centre-backs because they're being outnumbered in that midfield area.
Cahill. Touched by Azar. David Luiz. Made off by Pedro, actually for Hazard, but Diego Costa was able to collect it. N'Golo Conte. Moses. Conte again. Really doesn't work out for Moses and his cohort on that occasion. And he's picked up all the individual awards this season. And of course, he's won the Premier League for a second time with a different club in consecutive seasons. And John Terry bade his farewell to Stamford Bridge last Sunday in a quite orchestrated way, and I think there was some suggestion if Chelsea were like 3-0 up here, he'd get another little outing to say goodbye before leaving the club after this game.
I don't think he's going to be saying bye-bye at the moment.
No.
Because Arsenal are totally dominating the game.
Offside, Hazard's run. Moses. Blocked by Oxlade-Chamberlain. That's the one with the free kick. Matic will work her way through. Terrific tackle by Mertesacker. Two more problems being posed of the North London club at the moment by the boys in blue.
Chelsea look a bigger threat when they start sticking balls in behind Arsenal's back three. Matic again. Really has had a poor start to the game.
Ozil. Xhaka. Ozil wanted it, checked because he didn't come as quickly as he wanted it, and then found couldn't get there. It wasn't the best ball for the German. The two Germans back in tandem again, one defending and one trying to create. And this is a great piece of defending by Mertesacker.
To get that absolutely right, just as Diego Costa was going in on goal.
Only a couple of years ago at the Emirates, he was sent off catching Diego Costa quite early in the game. That Chelsea won 1-0 with a goal from Costa. Ozil, Xhaka. A bit late on parade was Pedro.
Really had a chance of winning the ball there. His knee just hits the back of Xhaka's knee.
After Aaron Ramsey's booking, the Arsenal fans calling for Pedro to get some similar treatment, but Anthony Taylor thought not. Out by Cahill. Just past the halfway mark in the first half. It's going to be finished in 90 minutes. It's been a quality first quarter from Arsenal. So many goals down the years in FA Cup finals. We all talked about goals. Certainly had another one here. But for your money, Stuart, the officials got it absolutely right.
I'm not sure they got it absolutely right, because there could have been a handball. I would have given Sanchez the benefit of the doubt on that occasion. The offside, I would have given offside, because I think by Ramsey going towards the ball and standing almost next to it, He's interfering with play.
The line in the law being playing the ball or not, which of course Ramsey didn't. I think he would have done if it had spun nearer to him. Anyway, here's Diego Costa. It's in the book, as they say. A goal for Alexis Sanchez. Moses. Conte. Moses desperately trying to get his A game going. It's been very good this season, of course. So many loans out of Chelsea. Very much one of the cornerstones of the title success. In the semi-final, he got brought down for a penalty at the end that he's attacking. In this first half here, here's David Luiz. Conte. Costa waiting in the middle. Pedro's there. Hazard's there. He's just trying something different. Early cross from Azpilicueta. Alonso trying to get there. Mertesacker's height will help him out there. Here's Welbeck, chance to have a run. If that's a foul, that surely is a yellow card because Welbeck was breaking away.
Yeah, it's I would say a fairly deliberate foul by Conte on Welbeck, who turned him. He's got away with a lot this season. An outstanding season, yes he has. He's made a lot of those fouls and he just gets away with them.
Well, it seemed until the diminutive French midfield player intervened. Oxlade-Chamberlain knows the taste of his own medicine, but Moses has his own response. Again, Chelsea making some forced errors and some unforced ones.
Well, he had a great game, didn't he, against Manchester City as the right wing-back, Oxlade-Chamberlain. I think he turned the game with a couple of good runs and a couple of crosses into the box.
That's great vision by Sanchez. Taking a snapshot of where Ozil was before the ball arrived. Bellerin. Pedro. Looking for Costa. We'll get that. And in the end, Ospina was needed.
Arsenal don't defend that ball in behind them particularly well. Really, Holding should deal with it. Costa spanning behind Holding. Doesn't judge the flight of the ball well, the centre-back. Yes, it's a decent pass by Pedro. That's a decent save by Ospina as well. Got himself injured here. A bit of an arm across the back of Holding. Hits him on the thumb, maybe, in the face. Big chance.
Ospina is still prostrate. That's caused the problem. Colin Lewin is the physio, and Petr Cech, of course, is the almost familiar figure without the protective headguard. Not quite so instantly recognisable, perhaps.
I suppose you don't need the headguard to warm up, do you?
No. Maybe he felt that Ospina's head was guarded sufficiently to make that kind of quick recovery. Thought about putting it straight in on a stunned goalkeeper. Chelsea didn't have. Nice thick break here, actually, for the moment. They're 3 against 2. Chelsea being others back. Moses is labouring a bit, it seems. Welbeck. Welbeck again. And again, Arsenal millimetres away from getting another notch on the scoreline. Now need numbers back. Here comes Hazard. And that spells danger. Matic. Hazard again. Moses. Alonso scored a few goals this season, being the man on the opposite flank, coming in with headers on crosses. Quite tailored for him that time. And a half volley by Mertesacker, not an easy clearance, but he effected it. Xhaka. Been a terrific half an hour. Also bearing in mind the heat of Saturday, the last Saturday in May. Not quite as warm as yesterday, which was an absolute scorcher. Would have made it very difficult to have this sort of tempo that we've seen so far.
What I would say, there's a lot of tempo when teams are going forward. As we see here, Danny Welbeck, Arsenal had a 4 versus 3 for a period there. Tries to cut back inside, lovely little 1-2, brilliant pass in behind again from Bellerin. Just about does enough. He still has a second chance there, Welbeck. He'll come into the rescue once again. Just going back to what I was saying, a lot of intensity when players are racing forward. The intensity defensively isn't anywhere near as good, particularly from Chelsea.
Spilicueta interrupts another dangerous-looking run from Danny Welbeck.
Another good ball. Danny Welbeck running in behind. Just got the pace to get there first. I don't think there's any intent from that Spilicueta.
Twice Arsenal hit the post. Twice Cahill has saved off the line, and once Sanchez has scored. It's not going to the so-called script. In by Sanchez. Another very well hit effort from Granit Xhaka. He's got more shooting power from distance than he's probably shown in his first season.
On the volley, he's got good technique. He really has got power in that left foot. He had to back away from it. Just creeping in at that near post. That's why I had to make the save.
There's to take the corner. James. And this is what Chelsea were trying to do when they lost the ball for Arsenal's turnover. That gave Arsenal. Hazard. Matic. This breaks to Hazard again. And mistake by Alonso. Chelsea maybe chasing this equaliser with a bit too much desperation, rather than use the fact there's a lot of time left in the game and just play their game, trying the difficult things.
I said to you before the game, which team were the better athletes? You'd probably say Chelsea at the moment.
Which team would be the fitter team? But the way Antonio Conte demands the running that they do in training at Chelsea.
They look tired, not recovering at any sort of pace. The midfield players look leggy.
Straight down Ospina's throat. Getting what he's seen so regularly from his team this season. He was in a position to do a League and Cup double with Juventus a few years back, and they lost the cup final to Napoli.
They talk this week, Chelsea, about wanting to win the double, hadn't switched off. To make history as well. It's not looked that way in this first half.
Forward by Moses. Still an aerial challenge by Holder. Here's Bellerin. by Xhaka. It's rather the way it's gone for Chelsea as well. 1 or 2 opportunities. Maybe they could have made much more of, and that would have come into that category. Pedro, serial winner, of course, with Barcelona. Goes Bellerin, a little rashly, a little riskily, but successfully. It's typical of Arsenal. The way they've just embraced the role of underdogs as well. Not guaranteed the 10 minutes go to half-time to bring them the cup, but certainly a feather in Arsene Wenger's cap to this point.
Tactically, he's got it absolutely right. Whether it be with his decision to play Welbeck, the way he's got Sanchez and Ozil to play their roles, sticking with the back three, changing Oxlade-Chamberlain to this left side rather than just go with the back four, playing players in their normal position.
Sanchez in behind Chelsea again, still Alexis Sanchez. Trying to catch Chelsea out at the near post.
Cahill just allows, he gets back eventually, but David Luiz allows Sanchez to run off of him. Cahill can't see it. Brilliant pass, has to be said. Sanchez have done better. Probably could have done, but he's been outstanding so far.
The only support he had was Welbeck. I don't think he looked much in his direction. Well, Arsenal will feel they are worth a second goal. The taking of the corner again. Courtois trying to go to get it, but being blocked off that time. David Luiz met it. Again, Chelsea can't complete the clearance of the danger. Xhaka fouled by Azpilicueta.
Just as he's walking back there, his head's down. Arsenal could take it quickly. There's just not that awareness and urgency about Chelsea's play at the moment. This isn't the Chelsea we've seen all season. It's probably not the Arsenal we've seen all season.
It's certainly the Mertesacker we haven't seen all season, except for 37 minutes last week as a substitute. Sanchez was the last touch off him, it was. Well, it's a while ago now. It's worth another look.
Look at Sanchez there. Was it handball? He lifts his arms. It does hit him on the hand, but not too much he can do about it. David Luiz is walking in the wrong direction. Cahill doesn't get round on the cover. They all stop because they think Ramsey's going to go for the ball.
One thing that was apparent there was how bright was Sanchez's mind. He knew what was on for him. Pedro. Now Moses. Gap's opening up now. Moses trying to curl it with his left foot. Azpilicueta. Maybe Arsenal starting to be tested in terms of their concentration, which has been enormous in the effort the best part of 40 minutes to be in this position. But we're not talking about team from another division. We're talking about a team that finished 4 places below the champions and 5th. Beat them, a few teams to beat them. But there was a gap, and that's still a little bit of a worry. Pedro really rushing the shot in the end.
Big chance as well. Hazard does brilliantly. He's got a pass out wide, but he doesn't want to play that. He wants to play the more dangerous ball. Just rush his shot here. He knows somebody's coming in from behind. He just clipped his heel as well. Got underneath the ball. He's probably been the one player that's still shown that energy, Pedro, in this game so far for Chelsea.
Luiz wins the challenge in the air with Welbeck. Alonso. Just sense there might be a threat, a significant threat to Arsenal's lead before half-time. Moses. Ospina. Chelsea weren't snapping around it as if they expected that to happen and were on their toes. They haven't really been on their toes for 40 minutes.
And a mistake from Ospina. Miscommunication with his defender, Mertesacker. Composure from Aaron Ramsey in the end.
Chamberlain. Battle with the number 15s goes on. And he did get the ball, but through the man to get it. And Victor Moses. 15 all, I think we call that.
Yeah, just beginning to get himself in the game now. Did well there, Victor Moses. He knew the challenge was coming in. He knew that Oxlade-Chamberlain's going to slide, so he just stuck his leg across it. He will be absolutely furious with the way his team have played in this first half. More so with the attitude than anything else.
And some significant moments this season. Chelsea have found the goal just before half-time in matches that they badly needed. I'll find it from there because Anthony Taylor already spotted an infringement on the edge of the area.
Blocking going on, I think, on the edge of the area. So often is the case. Anthony Taylor saw that one.
So we've seen a long 5 minutes to half-time for Mrs. Wenger and Bold, because here comes Pedro.
He's looking dangerous, Pedro.
A strange passage to the final for Arsenal, including being drawn against non-league opposition in both the last 16 and the last 8. Which never happens. Certainly not in the modern game.
Well, apart from the semi-final, it's a really comfortable route for them. Preston away, and they played against a Southampton team that had just got to the final of the League Cup, so they played almost a semi-youth side. And the two non-league teams. And of course, that brilliant victory against Manchester City here in the semi-final.
Goes Costa, goes Mertesacker. Done by Xhaka. Taken down well by Welbeck. Here's Sanchez. Ozil might get there first. And Solder player in short. He won't catch Hazard, not without fouling him. Ooh. I don't know whether Anthony Taylor's view of that was blocked. He looked a bit desperate there, Mesut Ozil, as Eden Hazard was pulling away from him. Hazard hurt as well.
Does he get the ball? May just get a bit of the ball. Might get a bit of Hazard as well. See it from this angle. I don't think he does get the ball. I think it's Hazard that's taken away with the outside of his boot.
Trying to play his part, Ozil, who's be the first to admit he's never quite as good when the opposition have the ball as when he has it at his own feet.
In the first couple of years, he also said that he didn't really know what his role was defensively. A bit more guidance, he had to defend better.
It's not a good sight for Chelsea to see Hazard have to go off for some treatment.
He hasn't been tested that often, has he, Antonio Conte, this season? We were at a game where he didn't come up with the right tactical changes against Manchester United.
Yeah, at Old Trafford. Of course, their last defeat. They've won every game since then, including a couple when the title was already won, and they might have switched off. They were going for that 30 wins from 38 games. That's not quite like going for an FA Cup, which is what they're going for today, and they just haven't produced that kind of focus. They're having to come from behind here at Wembley with half-time approaching. Costa. Ricochet might go to Diego Costa, who holds off Bellerin, shows strength. In the end, Arsenal have enough men behind the ball to help out. Aaron Ramsey did an important job there. 2 minutes added time. Moses. Good turn by the dangerous Pedro. In early from Moses, looking for Anthony Taylor. Has spotted a foul on the edge.
I think when Pedro played the ball away, they were racing into the box, and Monreal just caught Pedro. He's got away from him here, plays the ball wide, then makes his way into the box. Again, I think he just runs across him. There's not too much Monreal can do, or does he have a little think about it? There's the shove in the back, that's not going to push him to the ground.
No, it was an interesting call, because if the cross had had a bit more devil on it, might have been in a position of having to deny Chelsea a legitimate equaliser. As it is, Marcos Alonso, who wrapped the top of the Sunderland bar on Sunday with a free kick that actually led in the end to a Chelsea goal. He certainly got himself up the pecking order for these kind of situations. And with that left foot, looks to level. Too much height, and Chelsea still trail.
And I think that would probably sum up Chelsea's first half performance. More effort in the end from Alonso.
A few words from you, Stuart, at the end of the half.
Arsenal have been excellent. The shape that they've played, they've created a 3 versus 2 in midfield, and from that platform they've been able to get their front runners like Sanchez, like Welbeck into the game and cause Chelsea problems. Chelsea have been way off the pace. They've lost a lot of the 50-50 challenges. They've been slow in their recovery runs, and it's been really poor performance by Chelsea. Great from Arsenal.
But they're only 1 goal down, Chelsea. Alexis Sanchez, after a shout for handball and possible offside against the teammate. Then Welbeck and Ramsey came close, and Gary Cahill twice rescued his side by getting the ball off the line. But Arsenal, good value for a lead. It could have been bigger, but it's 1-0 at Wembley in the FA Cup final at half-time. Very good first half, but the job is certainly not done yet. And Chelsea have been way below the standards that they've set in the Premier League. They've stormed to the title under Antonio Conte. Arsenal had to deal with the distractions over Arsene Wenger's future. And it's still, as far as we know, Stuart, to be resolved whether anything will come out after the day of talking about a meeting next week. But if he was to go into that meeting as the manager yet again of the FA Cup winners, it would put him in a stronger position.
But at the moment, it's not a lucky lead either. They've totally outplayed Chelsea in that first half.
Antonio Conte must have been tempted to make a change at half-time, but if he was, he hasn't succumbed to temptation. Much, the suggestion being, well, we can't really do as badly again to the starting 11.
I think he's frightened to put in Fabregas on because they're being totally outrun in midfield. He's even less of a defensive player.
Hazard seems okay after that foul on him that wasn't given by Ozil right on half-time.
There's also a thought between us that Willian could come on and Pedro playing in the right wing-back spot. Moses hasn't been very effective at all, but then you run the risk of Sanchez keep breaking forward and causing problems, as he's done throughout the first half.
Cahill, it's not an exaggeration to say he's kept his team in it, really, with those 2 clearances right on the goal line. Welbeck and Ramsey hitting the post in the same incident. Hazard. Azpilicueta. Moses again quickly blocked off by Oxlade-Chamberlain.
Well, the teams that have had success against Chelsea this year have been the teams that have stopped the wing-backs getting easy possession. That's certainly been the case here.
Here, Antonio Conte giving instructions to his players. So Moses does get a cross in. Arsenal not really concerned by it. Cahill. It's the 14th time the clubs have come together in the FA Cup. Of course, there was a final. Arsene Wenger was the winning manager against Chelsea. Were guided then by Claudio Ranieri in 2002. It's a 2-0 Arsenal win. It was played at Cardiff, of course, while this reconstruction of Wembley was going on.
A couple of great goals in that final as well. Ray Parlour won. Freddie Ljungberg.
Pedro. Another hit. Cahill. Nice turn by Hazard. Got him away from Ramsey. Costa trying to get it back to Hazard. That extra central defender helping Arsenal out, as it has done. Just to remind you, this is the 10th time they've played it under Arsene Wenger this season. And 8 of the other 9 games in the sequence up to this final have all been Arsenal victories. Conte. Pedro. Costa. Conte deflected, and that could have completely wrong-footed Ospina. In the end, it made it a little easier, I think, for him to stop it.
Chelsea on the front foot now. Good link-up play from Diego Costa.
Very good hold-up play by Danny Welbeck, who out-muscled Gary Cahill. Ramsey. Sanchez ploughing his own furrow and finding Ozil. Could let fly here, but chooses not to. Reverse it back to Sanchez. Maybe one pass too many. Arsenal have been accused of doing that, of course, down the years. Pedro. Hazard. He's going at the Gunners here, in towards Diego Costa. Goal kick.
Certainly got a second half on our hands here. Really good defending. Mertesacker. Diego Costa tries to get in front of him, does get in front of him, but he just gets the slide challenge in perfectly. He's been out for quite some while, but he's had a good game so far.
Last time they met in the FA Cup was here at Wembley 8 years ago. Chelsea won 2-1. And went through to the final.
Arsenal went 1-0 up in that game, I think.
Theo Walcott.
Yeah, and then Gus Hiddink, who was then in charge, changed the system slightly. Pushed Frank Lampard further forward.
Prior to that, every time they met in the FA Cup, in a sequence of 7 games since 1947, Arsenal won. And here's Pedro. And Moses could be in for the equaliser here, pushed out well by Ospina. It's been a big call by Arsene Wenger to play Ospina ahead of Petr Cech, and it's looking good at the moment.
It really opened up for Moses. Again, good centre-forward play, Diego Costa. Yeah, Moses did everything right. He tried to go across Ospina. Really good save by the goalkeeper.
Cahill. David Luiz all the way through to Diego Costa. He's forced out of the penalty area, then gets himself back into the penalty area, and the bulldozing approach nearly paid off.
He's got to be careful here. He's got to be careful. But he's becoming an influence on the game. We didn't see that much of him in the first half. He's saying who fouled who there. I think the referee got it absolutely right. He was just thinking of kicking the ball into the crowd there, punching it into the crowd. Here's the chance again. Good save by Ospina.
Slipped by Bellerin. The temperatures would be more to the liking of the players. As the afternoon becomes evening. Holding. Welbeck rather loping across initially and was trying to sneak it away from Cahill. He did that quite deliberately and very successfully. Sanchez curled it in for Welbeck. It really is a very high-level FA Cup final, this, in terms of tempo and tenacity and talent.
Needed a bigger touch there, Diego Costa, to take him into the box. Just gives Holding a chance with his touch there. Certainly makes no contact with the ball holding. It's a good job it's outside the box.
And it's a booking for the young Arsenal defender signed from Bolton Wanderers. Has had very little opportunity over most of the season. This time coming when the big games have come around. Taken by Hazard. Deflected over for a corner.
Oh, that's what Mertesacker can do when he's in the side. He's in that near post zone. It's his head that just took it away. Usual zonal marking from Arsenal.
Matic going towards the near post. Around the back is Cahill. Matic trying to get involved. And Arsenal can break here. Sanchez recognising the switch of the play was on, and what a switch of the play it is. Bellerin with Ozil to try and find in the middle, but the deflection helped Courtois, and now Arsenal have 5 players upfield, which hasn't been the case too often in open play, and Chelsea trying to spring forward. A wonderful ball by Alexis Sanchez in the first place.
Chelsea weren't able to counter-attack again because a couple of the players that were up front were still the defenders who were making their way back for Chelsea.
So Diego Costa had to be part of the chasing pack, and he's now making his way forward rather slowly. Here's N'Golo Kanté. David Luiz. Arsene Wenger annoyed, visibly annoyed. A little clip forward didn't find Welbeck. Azpilicueta. That was an awkward one. Need to get those defensive headers right, and Rob Holding did that. Corner.
A good position that Holding took up. As you said, Diego Costa had made a chase back, wandered forward. Didn't really show the determination to get on the end of that when it came in the box. They created a 2v1 down that far side. Azpilicueta getting further forward now.
And a shortish corner. Came out, and Conte's volley was hardly textbook, but his energy gets him on the ball again. Well, we expected, and I'm sure Arsenal would have expected more to the point, a storming start to the second half from Chelsea, and it's shaping up that way. Oh, and that's a break for Welbeck, and a cynical challenge for Moses. He knows what's coming.
When you see Welbeck lead the line, as he's done in this game, held on to the ball, he's shown good pace, 2v1 there, lifts it over the leg of Moses. I know injuries have played their part, but why hasn't had such a bigger impact on Arsenal's season since he's been there?
He certainly has big game experience, doesn't he, with England and Manchester United. And he's rising to the challenge posed by the FA Cup final here, and been an important element in the way Arsenal are going about putting their game plan into action. Ozil, Bellerin, Ramsey wants to be played through here, and Ozil doesn't play it quite right for the Welshman. So he got the winning goal in the 2014 final against Hull City. So played in an FA Cup final here for Cardiff against Portsmouth early in his career when he's still a teenager. It's 9 years ago now. He's still a young man. Moses had the best chance in the second half for Chelsea. There's another one for Pedro. His goal record from that kind of position is very good. He's not so much a tap-in type forward. He can hit them from the edge of the deep.
He's trying to wrap his foot round it here. Sees that far post open. Holding that comes out and tries to put him under a bit of pressure.
Conte could have been booked in the first half. He's booked now.
Clever play from Ramsey. He knows the challenge is coming in. He just gets to the ball first. Make sure the tumble's over. He knew that Conte was going to get himself booked, and then being warned in the first half.
Bellerin, Ozil, Ramsey, corner. Keep that up. Courtois, quite the length of the frame he's got to dive out with. There have been a few more furrows in the brow and lines underneath the eyes from Arsene Wenger. He was a senior citizen, but it's been a relaxing season for him. Second goal here, and he might start to relax just a tiny bit. It's not going to happen like that. Put forward by Xhaka. Don't have any backspin on it for Ozil.
And here's Arsenal's counter-attack. Sanchez doing so well. He was forced back to start with, but there's the great big diagonal. They're in. Just tries to whip it round for the run of Ozil and Ramsey. Big chance for the right wing back to play the perfect pass there.
Ramsey. Oxlade-Chamberlain. Still going. And Cahill was on his toes to make sure he got there before Welbeck. So it is time for someone well known to both sets of supporters here. Cesc Fabregas, who was stood down at the start for Nemanja Matic. Cheers from Chelsea fans. Different kind of reception from those who used to cheer him around the ground in red and white. He did score against Arsenal the league game in February when he came on as a substitute then. Game that Chelsea won 3-1.
Certainly a player that can find a pass. Matic was poor today. Understandably, that's why the change has been made. But it does leave Chelsea vulnerable to Arsenal's counter-attacks with Fabregas in that central midfield.
Another brilliantly timed run from Aaron Ramsey. Bellerin. Xhaka. Ozil. Welbeck waiting in the middle. Bellerin cross, but too close to Thibaut Courtois. Here's Pedro, who's not stopped running right from the off and made that first dart forward. Here's Hazard. Three-pronged Chelsea attack. He was trying to steer it through to Diego Costa. Oh, hesitation from Cahill. Ozil. Welbeck will get there first, but not in a position where he could take it straight on goalwards. Ozil. Welbeck. Forward by Fabregas. It was a good idea from Diego Costa. He got Pedro running to his right, but the deflection on the touch is a bit too delicate.
Arsenal just getting that bit of control again.
Xhaka is there before Fabregas to a 50-50.
He's probably had his best few weeks in an Arsenal shirt, Xhaka, over the last few games. Heavily criticised earlier in the season, particularly after that performance against Crystal Palace. He's got himself sent off on too many occasions.
Mertesacker. Now Moses. I really feel we're at the heart of the matter now. If Chelsea can get the next goal, they may have, of course, that winning habit, slightly in with David Luiz, to go on and get the silverware here. But if Arsenal score next, I'm not sure that this Chelsea on this day have got it in it to come back. Here's Welbeck. And Bellerin to try and place it. And that was a pretty good bit of placement too, but Courtois read it and saved it.
What an opportunity.
Hazard. Within seconds of the Bellerin chance. Bellerin, who scored last Sunday in the win over Everton. Hazard, who scored against Sunderland on the same day as the 16th Premier League goal of the season. Moses. Well, it was forward quite invitingly for Fabregas.
And Moses just lifting the ball into the box. Pedro was ready to get the volley in. Doesn't make the right connection there. Here's the effort again. Welbeck playing the 1-2. Luiz was really struggling to get back at him. He does everything right again. Bellerin trying to just pass it into that far corner. Needed a good save from Courtois.
Fabregas, who can put it right on the money, and Diego Costa knows that. A little bit short-changed the striker in the end, but it was a wise ball into a key area, and Arsenal would be wise to try and stop that happening too often. Otherwise, their former player could lead the recovery here, which might include Willian limbering up.
At the moment, I think Chelsea are still far too open defensively. You can still see Arsenal getting a counter-attack and scoring. It's not been the dominant Chelsea. Tactically, physically, technically that we've seen for so long this season. And there's a player that's had an outstanding game. Never understand why he didn't play against Spurs in that game where they lost Arsenal. He's always been a threat in behind.
He's had that knee problem, but since he's been recovering from that and rehabilitating and playing from time to time, he's had a toe injury as well. And you just feel that Arsene Wenger, if he goes by the book, he will take him off and bring Giroud on. But that Welbeck's causing so many problems to Chelsea that really should stick with him for us. I'm sure the player won't want to go off.
We haven't got to rest him for any other games now. This is the last game of the season.
And he's not involved with England because he does need another period of rehabilitation. Hazard. Moses. Oh, Anthony Taylor. Now, if that's a dive, Moses is in serious trouble here. Victor Moses, for 2 yellow cards, is sent off. Chelsea down to 10 men. And for the second yellow, it's simulation. And that will make almost as many headlines as the nature of the goal. Stuart.
Well, it's a massive call from Anthony Taylor. Moses comes inside Oxlade-Chamberlain, and the referee's absolutely right. It is a dive. There is no contact from Oxlade-Chamberlain. He pulls his foot away. He thinks the challenge is coming in, but that's not a reason to go down. Anthony Taylor has got that right, and it's silly play from Victor Moses. He could have cost his team the double here.
Well, it's the walk of shame made by Chris Smalling last season, but his team actually won the FA Cup, Man United. Pablo Zabaleta prior to that. Jose Antonio Reyes of Arsenal in 2005, and Kevin Moran way back in '85. It's not a list you want to be on.
It's going to be very difficult for Chelsea now. Even if they get an equaliser, they're going to have to go into extra time with a player down.
Holding. Alonso. By Conte, a touch by Fabregas. Of course, it's a big topic, isn't it? The simulation with the regulations being changed next season for retrospective punishment. But this time the punishment was instant, swift, and correct. Here's Bellerin. Unnecessary free kick given away by Welbeck. Just over 20 minutes to go, unless Chelsea can take it to extra time. He didn't shirk his responsibilities, Anthony Taylor. Ramsey. Xhaka. Monreal. It's certainly been Arsenal's 70 minutes here at Wembley.
All that Chelsea would do is go to a back four. That's the way they're playing now. That's going to play. They would go to right back. Cahill's gone inside. Actually playing as the right-sided centre-half, and David Luiz as the left. And Alonso will go back to a normal left-back position.
But right from the start, Victor Moses seemed to be off the pace, and now he's off the pitch. And to be fair to him, he's had an excellent season. Xhaka. Oh, Conte preventing the shot. Chamberlain. Goes outside Sanchez. Arsenal queuing up in the middle. And the deflection from the shot by Sanchez. Kept in by Ramsey, who's trying to win a corner off Alonso. He's done more than that. He's got the ball for Bellerin. Xhaka. could see exactly what was in Oxlade-Chamberlain's mind. Once scored a winner here for Arsenal against Chelsea in the Community Shield a couple of years ago.
Was it handball? There's nothing you can do about it, Gary Cahill. Certainly not handball. But I can't see how Chelsea are going to get themselves back into the game now. If there's one team that are good playing with against 10 men, it's Arsenal. They can keep the ball.
Pedro, his race is run. And, Willian, who was a strong performer in the last season with Chelsea when they had very few strong performers. They dropped from top to 10th and now back to top again. And Willian's played a part. And then this run to the FA Cup final, of course, he netted twice. And the win over Tottenham here. Oxlade-Chamberlain, got hold of that. And, Sanchez couldn't really. Fabregas. Even more, they'll be looking to Eden Hazard for something to make light of being a man down. He's capable of playing like two. But, not this time.
Well, there wasn't a great deal of urgency for him to try and win the ball back. Almost gave up on that.
Here comes Bellerin. No flag. And no cross. So stopped by Alonso. And then he fouled Alonso. Here's Willian. Frightened of taking players on, but the same applied to Pedro. Willian again. Hazard wins the corner. It's always a route for an equaliser. Arsenal haven't been the most impressive team defensively, although the number of goals they've conceded from corners is relatively few. A bad day at West Brom, not the only team to have suffered in that respect. And although Cahill gets up well, there's no threat to Ospina's goal.
Also, it's a long way out. You've got nobody racing in. If you're going to play a ball out to that sort of area, there's Stan Kroenke.
His discussions with Arsene Wenger will presumably bring about an outcome that eventually will be made public. But we understand that the owner is a big supporter of the incumbent in the manager's chair in the dugout at Wembley today. Arsenal not quite in a position to overplay in their own half, even with a man advantage and a goal advantage. Remember, it all went wrong for Crystal Palace. In not dissimilar circumstances last season. Willian. Neat work by Ramsey. Ozil. Welbeck trying to get through. Cahill and David Luiz, who as a two weren't really deemed to be good enough by Chelsea. It's why they went to the three. And David Luiz returned to the club. Closing down by Willian, but it'll run to Ospina.
Well, that's the ball they're going to look for more and more now. Cesc Fabregas getting a bit of time on the ball, playing one ball over the top. Trying to take out the whole Arsenal defence with Diego Costa to run onto.
David Luiz comes out on top there. Ozil out-fought. Fabregas. Now Willian. And it's crept in, and Diego Costa has level for 10-man Chelsea. Always dangerous. Never deterred. Antonio Conte's Chelsea have levelled it up.
It's a great finish from Diego Costa. They created an overload at the far post. His first touch to open it up for himself was brilliant. Look at the 2v1, almost a 3 versus 2 at the far post when it comes in. Bellerin goes away from him. Holding can't hold him up. Could Ospina have done any better? Maybe so.
The deflection did him, really.
He set himself. He set himself there. I don't think he's particularly alert. Starts to go one way. I think that's a poor effort from the goalkeeper. I think he's got to do better there. But what a good finish from that man there. And he's been excellent in this second half. He's tried to link up the play. Oh, he had a touch in the first half. Now we're going to see a change for Arsenal.
Well, it is shades of 12 months ago. And it is Danny Welbeck. As I say, it's the kind of change that fitness rather than form is brought about. And Olivier Giroud, he was a scorer in a FA Cup final as a substitute 2 years ago when they romped past Aston Villa.
What's the mindset of Chelsea now? Do they sit that little bit deeper, or do they continue to try and go and get the winner here?
Oh, they're behind again. It's amazing. It's Aaron Ramsey. That's the response of Arsenal. And Chelsea simply lost their focus in the joy of equalising. It's when you're at your most vulnerable, and Ramsey, totally unmarked, steered in the header. Arsenal 2, Chelsea 1.
Well, we were saying that Welbeck, what a good game he was having, and was it the right decision to put Giroud on? Well, it turns out to be a great decision. He makes the run. He's up against David Luiz. He goes in behind Cahill. No thought about anything else other than cross it into the box, and it's the perfect delivery. And Conte, who we've talked about time and time again, tracking runners, being a good defensive player, allows Ramsey to run off the back of him. It's a fairly easy finish, but it's a great run from Aaron Ramsey.
Well, confirming how well he's been playing in recent weeks after a real disappointment of a season. And maybe Chelsea's season's going to end in disappointment. They worked so hard to get that equalising goal, and within moments they left the back door well and truly open, and Ramsey just strode in to put Arsenal back in front. Conte. Diego Costa. Azpilicueta. Alonso's right in there. Just a bit lucky to get it away, and it's won back straight away by Costa. Just on the move again after wincing and stopping for a moment. Two London teams providing a really engrossing final here. And it's not over yet, Willian. And Xhaka is booked.
Good bit of skill from Willian. Just squared up Xhaka. As you said before, set plays when you're down to 10 minutes, probably the easiest way to score a goal.
Costa with one under his belt already. Cahill, David Luiz towards the near post, and he goes! Needed more of a deflecting header.
Come a bit off his shoulder as well. And you go beyond that near post, it gets away from Ramsey. Ramsey go with him. I'm not sure David Luiz is fully fit today. Just watching him throughout the game, people have run off the back of him, so his head down quite often. Arsenal look as though they want to make another substitution. The last one's worked well for them.
Look for our angle. As though Sanchez may have been offside then. It's another change. Thanks. Brought about because of a fitness issue. Coquelin, one or two of the Arsenal players on the pitch saying, what's going on here? Oxlade-Chamberlain. Is Coquelin going to play in that position? Yeah, Monreal wondering whether he might be asked to do that. Well, Oxlade-Chamberlain has finally had a cup final to remember. Well, it certainly is in the situation he goes off at. He missed out in 2014. He had a very late appearance in 2015.
See where Coquelin is going to go and play. He's going to play, as you quite rightly said, as the left wing back
against Willian. And Azpilicueta, who's going to push on at every opportunity. Willian's dragged Coquelin infield. And he's fouled the Brazilian.
He's going to get a booking straight away, Coquelin. First touch, kicking the ball away. Ridiculous from Coquelin.
Just feel, Stuart, this isn't done and dusted yet. 7 minutes plus added time to go between Arsenal and getting ready to go up the steps to get the cup, but even with a man advantage there, well, they've got a chance to break here and maybe put it to bed. Giroud forced wide by the pass. It's good work by Conte. He had to cover a lot of ground to get there first.
And had to make sure he got the challenge right as well.
Yeah.
Had it already been booked.
Had it been down to 9.
I think that probably would have been game over.
Willian. By Monreal, is a very responsible footballer. Attack might be the best form of defence in these circumstances for Arsenal. Bellerin, Cahill comes across and Bellerin puts it wide. He could have had 2. The one that Courtois saved, and that one that would have had Arsene Wenger, I think, finally sitting down thinking, goodness me, I've won the cup again.
That's what he's good at doing. Running in behind people. He's got great pace, Bellerin. Cahill doesn't want to make the challenge. He doesn't want to slide in just in case. Really good effort from the Arsenal wing-back.
Well, it's one of those, you mentioned that 3-0 defeat at Crystal Palace not that long ago. And he got a lot of the criticism from the Arsenal fans who pretty much didn't leave any stone unturned when it came to criticising their players. Really, from the awfulness of that evening, they've been a phoenix rising from the ashes. Certainly, if they can see it through here, 5 minutes plus stoppage time. Bellerin. Ozil holding off Conte. 5 forward for Arsenal. Sanchez. Coquelin, wing machine. Getting any support from the referee. He's already just booked him, and then it's run back by Sanchez. The referee had transferred his attention very quickly across to that. He's not flagging, nor are Chelsea, despite the difficulty of their circumstance, the clock against them, the scoreline against them. Little clip by Conte. And Ospina saves. Otherwise, Diego Costa would have levelled it for a second time, and that's what it means to Arsenal.
What an opportunity. Again, great first touch on the chest from Diego Costa. Anywhere but straight at the goalkeeper. He'll be back in the game.
It's a deep corner towards Cahill. Booted out by Monreal, saying, come on, get out, let's defend in our own penalty area. Azpilicueta. Chelsea going to make another change. They play it right. Here Arsenal, they'll be in again to wrap it up with Ozil. Still Ozil. Oh, it's hit the post. It's a corner. Fine margins.
And he does everything right. To create the 3 versus 2. All the space in which to run into. Chops it back on Azpilicueta. Goes in at the near post. Deceive Thibaut Courtois. Just the wrong side of the post in the end.
On comes Michy Batshuayi. And Costa has gone, maybe for the last time in a Chelsea shirt.
I have to say that's a fairly strange decision. Off the player that's got you back into the game has just had another chance.
Batshuayi is in great form, of course. 4 goals in the last 3 Premier League games, including the goal that won the title. And that's his vantage point for what remains. Fabregas. Marcos Alonso started to make a move forward. Fabregas comes out to Willian. Chelsea desperate now. Time against them. They got it in, and Ospina comes out. Positive goalkeeping from the South American. I'm hearing there'll be 4 added minutes. Conte. Willian. David Luiz. Spending more time forward. Into Batshuayi. Willian. David Luiz. Chelsea digging deep here. Arsenal caught in 2 minds, really, whether to break, try and get the goal that Ozil was so close to getting. That's certainly in Beireen's mind. Not everybody in red and white's feeling the same.
Just needed to be hit into that bit of space. Bellerin would have outrun Alonso. It's exactly where Arsenal want the ball. Halfway inside Chelsea's half. Their throw-in.
Well, he's so close. He's talked about the... didn't use the word suffering, but that's what he meant, how difficult the season's been. Critics have been coming at him from all angles. And Arsenal coming at Chelsea from all angles. Ramsey. Now there's a counter-attack on by Willian. Thanks for Alonso, who slips at a vital moment, allowing Bellerin to hound him down. There's 4 minutes confirmed by the 4th official. Chelsea still fighting for their FA Cup lives here in the double. Oh, and that might run to the new right-sided player, David Luiz, with the cross. Too close to Ospina, who hangs on as Arsenal look to hang on.
He's had a good game, hasn't he, Ospina? Maybe he should have done better with the goal. He can't believe he's been taken off. Nor can I, really. Who was the biggest threat in the second half? It was definitely Diego Costa.
That's brilliant from Sanchez. He knew someone was chasing him. He probably didn't know it was Batshuayi, but if he got his body across, the contact would come, the free kick would come. What he didn't factor in was a bit of a tweak of the hamstring to come. And here's Ozil. And the referee had restarted the play. And that was another chance.
Massive chance. Chelsea went to sleep. Ozil took his touch and then allowed the ball to run out of play as he was going to get a corner.
Fabregas. This wonderful competition has delivered again. Amazing season with a non-league team, Sutton United and Lincoln City doing so well. A real all-star semi-final cast. Conte's team beating Spurs. Well, they just outstretched in the Premier League. Arsenal knocking over Manchester City, who finished above them in the Premier League. Two minutes that's going to seem like a lifetime to Arsene Wenger. But Arsenal, if they let it slip from here, will never forgive themselves. But here's Fabregas. And that's a clever dummy by Ozil. Giroud happy to win the throw. A 4 forward against 3. Giroud's aware of the clock.
Substitution for Arsenal. Leaving the field number 7, Alexis Sanchez.
Alexis Sanchez with 75 seconds left, who gave the game that early twist when the underdogs struck, and a goal that will be debated long into the night but be celebrated by those in red and white.
But he was brilliant, wasn't he? His movement, his work rate. Just the energy that he gave the side and the understanding. Excellent from Alexis Sanchez. He's been Arsenal's talisman this season whenever they've played well.
The Egyptian Mohamed El Neni is on. Arsenal looking for more here. Look, El Neni. Just need to keep the ball, really. Coquelin has sort of reinvented himself for this cameo Wembley appearance. El Neni. The cross goes in. Oh, they've given it away to Chelsea, so this will be one last Chelsea charge, led by Willian. To the interception by Bellerin, one back by David Luiz, and then hammered forward by Rob Holding. As big a cheer as the Arsenal fans have mustered apart from the goals. Courtois. The 4 minutes are up. Xhaka. Fabregas. El Neni's there. Arsenal are surely there. Added time by Anthony Taylor. Well, they can play their way through to wrap it up here, but El Neni not really equipped to do that. But it doesn't matter, because Arsenal win the FA Cup for a 13th time, for a 7th time under Arsene Wenger. Both of those records, and they've beaten the champions to do it. With a depleted team, they've defied the odds to do it. Spurred by an early goal from Alexis Sanchez, and not undeterred by an equaliser much later on from Diego Costa. Mertesacker has stepped out of the shadows to be a star here. Stan Kroenke probably has an easier board meeting to come next week. There's no double for Antonio Conte and his team. And amazing. Stuart Robson, you have an Arsenal background, you always keep it under wraps, but what are your feelings after what they've done today?
Well, I thought it was an excellent performance. Arsene Wenger got his tactics absolutely right. He kept with the 3 at the back, he played with 3 in midfield just to make sure they could overload that area, and they played brilliantly throughout the game.
A triumph for Arsene Wenger, a beleaguered boss, and for Arsenal, who dropped out of the Champions League qualification for the first time under his management, but have finished with the FA Cup. Arsenal 2, Chelsea 1.
That does go well with the chicken.
I want to watch the hockey game.
And I want to watch the basketball game.
Which brings us to rule number 59. Best friends that stick together, split screen together.
With Sportsnet now, we can stream 2 games on the one screen at the same time.
Wait, what? So, I'll be on the big screen and you'll be on the laptop.
You don't know what split screen means, do you?
Of course I do. I thought we were friends.
You made out with my sister.
You want serious sports talk? Come to us.
I don't know the words, but I'll make them up.
You want smart sports talk? You come to us.
You broke it.
You want the best sports talk? You come to us. The suit and the deep voice.
Whoa, 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 whoa. You're the suit. I'm the deep voice.
Sports.
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 Sportsnet.
That does go well with the chicken.
I want to watch the hockey game.
And I want to watch the basketball game.
Which brings us to rule number 59. Best friends that stick together, split screen together.
With Sportsnet now, we can stream 2 games on the one screen at the same time.
Wait, what? So I'll be on the big screen and you'll be on the laptop.
You don't know what split screen means, do you?
Of course I do.
I thought we were friends.
You made out with my sister.
Thank you for making Sportsnet Canada's #1 sports network.
Well, we'll never know. Maybe they'll never know, Stuart, Chelsea, why they didn't quite come here with their A-game, with all their considerable armoury, with guns blazing. But even in the few minutes before the goal, there was a bit of a leggy look about them. The goal certainly set them on the back foot. And they never really, even with the equaliser, they were down to 10 men by then. So from then on, it seemed to be Arsenal's.
The one thing you expect from Chelsea, whenever you've seen them this season, is they're going to be organised, they're going to win the 50-50 challenges, they're going to be really hard to play against, they're well organised. In that first 15-20 minutes, they were all over the place. They lost all the knockdowns, they didn't seem to be able to recognise where Arsenal were going to run, they didn't seem to know how to stop Arsenal playing through midfield. They were all over the place, and he couldn't change it until half-time, where they played better in the second half. But because they were chasing the game, Arsenal could always counter it, and that's when they're at their very best. When the likes of Sanchez, when the likes of Ozil, when the likes of Welbeck and Ramsey can make forward runs. He got his tactics right today.
And he played per Mertesacker. It wasn't as though they were bringing in a novice, they were bringing in a member of a World Cup winning squad only 3 years ago. They're bringing in a player who played over 100 times for Germany. How sweet for Arsene Wenger and for Arsenal. 7 times the most winning FA Cup manager of all time. And Arsenal the most winning club in this competition of all time.
He played his part, didn't he, per Mertesacker? A couple of really good headers away. One sliding challenge in the first half when it looked as though he was going to let Diego Costa in, and one brilliant one in the second half as well.
Well, it's a competition renowned for giving the underdogs a platform. The pre-game newspapers and the pundits on the television, everybody saying, surely Chelsea's, it must be Chelsea's. They're the team that wins, Arsenal the team that are struggling. Antonio Conte's won all the managerial awards, and now he's a loser in an FA Cup final, and he's learnt a bit about what the competition stands for, how you have to be at your best to win it, even if you are champions.
And it shows that in English football, if you don't play at 100%, you don't start the game with the right attitude, you're going to struggle. And Chelsea found it difficult to get their rhythm back because they started so poorly.
Just to remind you, Per Mertesacker made it quite clear he didn't try and hide anything. I've never played in a back three, but I'll have a go. Haven't played from the start all season, but I'll have a go. It's what I do. I'm a professional. That's what I work towards, and that's what you get from true pros. And there's another true pro, Petr Cech, congratulating David Ospina for all his disappointment. He's a cup winner again as a player who didn't get on, but he's got another winner's medal to collect. And